If you rush Sukuna, the drawing falls apart fast. So in this video, I focus on fixing one thing, structure before detail. And kind of like how I'd explained in all prior videos, like structure could be its own thing, and then there's proportions, which is like pretty much a form of structure, because you can, unless your mental mapping of understanding how something looks is so advanced that you just know you don't need to even pay attention to anything in relation to anything else, and you just draw everything perfectly because you're just that good at drawing it. Or maybe you created the character and you've practiced it so many times, like you could maybe not draw it with your eyes closed, or maybe you could, but there's really no way you could mess it up. Like, it's just muscle memory. But otherwise, like, it's very good to pay attention to structure until you have cemented levels of it to the level that you'd want, or just keep going and paying attention to structure and proportions very much helps. I started using very light rough sorry I started with a very light rough sketch, just mapping out the head shape and general proportions. At this stage, nothing needs to look good, it just needs to be placed correctly. I can do something light and darken it in later on, but I just want to get it correct, get it in the right place proportion wise. I learned that if this part is off, no amount of detail will fix it later. Here I'm just adjusting the eyes and the jawline a lot. Sukuna's expression depends heavily on symmetry and spacing. I used to rush this part, but slowing down here has made a huge difference in my drawings. Slowing down and taking your time to cement the technique, and then as you get better, maybe it's not maybe really matter too much about pace, but you could find yourself spending less time doing something. There's something you could be practicing to get better at right now, and because you took your time getting better at it and you cemented a higher level, you could find yourself doing that same thing in way less time, with probably even way less effort and paying way less attention, because you at least got the technique down to where you can really do it. And then it just gets easier and easier to do the same thing. Once the structure felt solid, I started refining facial features. You can see the eyes becoming sharper and more defined. This is where the character really starts to come through. The markings are what really makes Sukuna recognizable, but they have to follow the face structure, not just be placed randomly. I make sure they wrapped around the contours of the face. Yeah, following the contours of the face. And sometimes they'll even, depending on the drawing or the form that you're drawing him in, uh there could be extra sets of eyes. And yes, there's the lines by the jaw into jaw above the mouth to into the chin, and then there's the ones like closer to the eyes that could hold other sets of eyes, right? And just taking your time with all that helps get it all lined up in place. Um, here I'm going to go over everything with darker, more confident lines. This step is all about committing to the drawing. like I was saying before, lighter lines is really up to you. But I'm doing it also in pen. So, like for example, if somebody said, "I'm just gonna get good at doing this in pen," which means you have to get it right the first time. Um, yes, lighter lines, unless you're very, very confident at and very, very skilled at what you're doing, and that doesn't really apply to you because you can get the exact type of drawing you want. Lighter lines, everything, um, and then darken later. Or maybe if you're confident in the outer lines, like the outer face, the outer hair strands, the outer clothing, you can darken that the first time you do it if you understand that you did it correctly. Then then you could darken it more at the end, uh, so that the the outlines of everything, whether that's face, clothing, body anatomy, it all stands out as its own thing. Um, so if somebody looked at the drawing from far away, they could tell what's what very easily, or they could see the structure very easily. But yeah, if your base is solid, this part becomes much easier. I added small refinements and cleaned up unnecessary sketch lines. This helps the final drawing look more polished and intentional. This came out a lot cleaner than my previous attempts. Still things to improve, but definitely progress. If you want to see more like this, subscribe and comment which character I should draw next.